Hey everyone, what's up? This is Simon from DevTactic and the Ionic Academy. In this tutorial, I will show you how you can build your own chat application with Ionic and a simple Node.js backend with Socket.io. So I've already created the starting backend template, and you can find all the code for this inside the tutorial as well. Basically, we just need this package JSON with two dependencies for Express and Socket.io, and perhaps the main entry point, and then we got the index file where we got this IO on connection block. So whenever somebody connects to our backend, we'll listen to three different events. So one is add message. This means somebody has sent a new message, and then we will emit, so send to all the connected clients a message, which will have the type or the name message, and the object, which is our actual text from the message, the name from the person, and a timestamp. Then we also listen to set nickname, so our people will be able to pick their nickname. We will set it, and then we will also emit a new event with a event here joined, so we can catch in our app that somebody joined the chat room. And finally we got the disconnect event, where we will broadcast that somebody left the chat. The app is running here. We can run it with Node index.js and perhaps call npm install before doing this. Yes, I guess that's it. So once this is ready, you can start your server and simply let it run in the background. Yes, and there it is. So it's now running on this port, and we can leave this for now. Where's the next one? Right here. Okay, so I've already started a new blank Ionic app, and we can go ahead and first of all create another page, which will be our actual chat room. So we will start on the home page, like it is already configured here, and then we will go through the chat room. We also need an npm package called ng-socket.io. Well, perhaps we don't have to use this, but it makes our life a bit easier if we're using a Socket.io connection to a backend. So okay, it's installed. So we can go to our app module and import the Socket.io module, and also perhaps the Socket.io config from ng-socket.io. And then we need to configure our connection, the type Socket.io config, and this needs a URL, which is in our case the localhost log we just saw inside the console. Additional options not really needed at this point. So to add it to our module, we now go to our imports and say Socket.io module for root and pass in the config. Okay, that's everything for the setup. Now let's continue to our home page. As I said, on the home page, we want to join a chat with a name. So we need an input field for our name, and we create an Ion label, set nickname, and then below the Ion input of the type text, and we just use an ng model here. We don't need a special form, so we use nickname, placeholder, nickname, and that's it. And below the item we need a button to actually join our chat, so Ion button, and on click we will call join chat, and finally we disable this button, disabled, if our nickname is still empty. So in that case, we will not join as nickname. Okay, if we launch our app, we see that it's not really disabled. Oh, okay, we haven't set the nickname yet. So we go to the TypeScript file and say nickname in the beginning like this. And then we need our first connection with socket at this point. Yes, import socket from ng-socket.io. And inside our join chat, now we start. So once we want to join a chat, when we click this, we call this.socket connect. So this is the first thing we need to call to actually be recognized from the backend and to be connected through socket. The next thing we want to do is send a new message to the backend, and this is done by calling emit. And in the beginning, we want to set our nickname, which is this.nickname. And finally, after these two actions, we can go to the actual chat page. So we push the chat room page, and we also pass our nickname like this. Okay. Perhaps no, I think there's no lock inside. Anyway, we see set nickname, and we can join as somebody, and we get to the next page, which is all we wanted. But yeah, this is placeholder. I knew it. Okay, so now we're able to set our nickname and get to the chat room page, but we haven't implemented a chat, so let's continue with this now. The chat room page, first of all, needs an array of messages. In the beginning, it will be empty. We will get the nickname through from the previous page, and we will also be able to send new messages, of course. We need the socket connection here as well, and we also need the toast controller from Ionic to show a toast once somebody joined or left our chat. Okay, let's start easy. Our nickname comes from the nav params, so just get it like this, and we're good. Now it actually gets a bit more interesting. So we create a function get messages, and this function returns the messages, but not just one time. We return an observable. So this will help us to stay up to date, as we can publish new events on this observable, and you will see how in a second. Observable. Okay, so I said new observable, and we got the observer, and below we return our observable. Okay, so what our observable does is actually listening to the socket connection, and whenever the event message is broadcasted from our server, so you see when somebody calls add message to the server emits message. So we're listening to message, and we will get some data at this point, and this data can be used to say observer next data. So anybody who subscribed to guest messages will automatically then get this new message. So in the constructor, we can go ahead and call get messages, which is an observable. We call subscribe. So we will all the time get a new message when something happens, and we simply say this dot messages dot push the new message. Okay, I hope this is clear so far. So the observable listens to our socket connection and broadcasts whenever a new event comes in. We catch this and push it to our messages array. To send a message, we basically do the same as we did before with our nickname. We call this dot socket emit to send a new message of the type add message, and we pass text this dot message. So afterwards, perhaps set our message again to an empty string, and that's all the messages stuff. What we need as well, okay. Like get messages, we need the same for our users. So get users returns an observable, but here we're listening to users changed event. We do all of the things we did before, and here we're again using get users, subscribe, some data, and now we can get the user object from data user, because again, if we go back to the server, whenever somebody joins or left, the user change event is broadcasted along with the user and the event. So we can get the user out of this, and we can also check what the actual event was. So in case it was that somebody left, we can display a toast message and implement a little helper function show toast with a message. Let toast equals this toast controller. Come on. Create. The message is our message, perhaps a duration of 2 seconds. Yes, sorry about that. And finally, toast present. Okay, now we can use this. So if somebody has left the chat, we call this dot show toast and say user left with the user. So this should just be the username. And otherwise we say user joined again with the user. Something missing, let's see. Okay, some additional stuff perhaps. IonView will leave. It makes sense to unsubscribe or disconnect from the server if we are not anymore in this chat. So simply call disconnect once you're done. And now our chat is actually ready as far as I think. So let's see. Well, whatever. We open this private window to the left, and now let's see. I will join as Simon, and here I will join as fake Simon. We see already user joined fake Simon, so this is working. What actually is not working? Okay, user left is also working fine. What we haven't implemented is the actual chat view. So let's open the chat room and do it. I'll remove this, go ahead, chat, and inside our Ion content, we will use the grid system to position our chat bubbles a bit better. And first of all, we iterate over all the messages of our array. Select message of messages, and then we will craft 2 different column blocks. So the first one will be just 9 units on the left side, and this will be used if the message dot from is not equal our nickname. We will also add some styling in a second, and also actually we don't need conditional styling here, right? But I will add it anyway. Let me copy this in. Yeah, perhaps we could do all of this styling on one block, whatever. With ng class, you could now say if it is, or at the class my message, if the message is from my own nickname, or at the class other message if it's not from me. So this was basically the idea behind this, but as we're already making the ng if here, it's kind of useless, but we will keep it for now. So this is the class username, and we got message.from, and sorry. Yeah, but yeah, that's fine. So we got the username at the top. Then we got the actual message.text. So this will be the content of the message. And then we also got the timestamp, which is created on the server side. So message.created, and we use the data pipe to make it like this. Okay. And now we got the timestamp as well. This is the column for a message from somebody else. And although it's a bit duplicate, I will use it like this and use offset 3 here. So our own messages will be pulled to the right. This one uses 9 from the left, and this more or less 9 from the right side. Of course, this will be used if it's our nickname. Again, ng class is more or less not really needed here, but we keep it. The rest is the same. And below our Ion content, we also add an Ion footer, because we need, of course, a way to submit new messages. So Ion row, this will be the message row, and inside, again, using the grid layout, the input for our items. So the sun just comes through my window while I started recording this, but I'm too lazy to move, so it's a bit hard to see my screen, but I will get this done. Okay, we got the text input, we got a placeholder, which is message. Then we got the ng model, which should be our message object. And that's all for the input. The column closes. And then we got still 3 units left in our grid layout, so we can add a button, Ion button. We make it clear, color primary. Perhaps this is also by default, I think. Anyway, and this should also be disabled in case the message is an empty string. So inside the button, we are not using any icon today, I think, just send. Okay, finally we need some CSS, but I will put this in. You can find it in the recording tutorial. It's just some styling for the username, some padding and stuff for the message, a background for both my message and other messages so we can distinguish them. We got the time, and finally the bottom message row. So let's see. Oh, do we have any errors? Let's see. Well, looks good so far. So let's try again. We join as Simon. Okay. Ion iPod. Yeah, that's not right. It should be, of course, input. Thanks. So Simon, and we are joining. And fake Simon also joins the chat room. So my first real message. We send it and we see the message is from us. So it's a bubble on the right side. We got our name, the message, and the time. And here we see this is the fake Simon. So the message is from somebody else. So I am fake, would be my own message, and you see. So it's kind of funny to work with this socket stuff. As you can see, it's really super simple. The server is just a few lines of listening to events, and also the front end is not really that hard to implement. We just listen to some events, use an observable, and emit our new values. With some CSS, we're able to craft this beautiful little chat view. If I leave now, the fake Simon left the channel now. The one thing you need to remind here is that this is a super lightweight just example for Socket.io. We're not storing any messages. So if this person joins again, the person will not see the history of the chat. So this is just like whatever live chat without any history. If you want to have something like this, you might want to pop in some MongoDB or whatever database you like, store the messages once you get them, add some API calls to get a historic chat or the history of a chat. But you see that it's really quite easy to connect to Socket.io with our Ionic app and to build a real-time chat app or whatever real-time app you plan to build. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to subscribe to my channel for more Ionic videos, and also check out the ionicacademy.com if you're interested in learning Ionic. I will see you next time. Have a great day and take care.